Hi, it's Elisa, Bluebird Relics. I'm going to be painting on some screen tonight. So what I have is, I have this canvas. So this was actually stretch canvas. And I took the art off the canvas. I actually did something else with the art. And then I had this wood canvas. So rather than throw it away, I decided to put some screen on the back. And you can buy screen at Home Depot or Lowe's or anything, and it's in a big roll, and you can cut it to fit the size. This is I think this is 8 by 8. So I cut the screen to 7 by 7 and stapled it to the back. I did another one. Oh, I didn't bring it with me. That's okay. I sprayed it today actually with varnish. I took it outside. It was beautiful out, so I sprayed all my projects and got them all ready to go. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to use some gel media and some molding paste. I have Artist Loft. This is actually a gloss gel. I'm not sure I'm going to use that one, but I have a matte super gel by Liquitex, and I have molding paste, light molding paste by Golden. If anybody's interested in purchasing these items, you can probably find them at Blick or Michael's, or I don't know if Hobby Lobby has Golden, but I think they have Liquitex. They may have the Master's Touch. There may be some kind of molding paste or gel medium that you can use. I haven't tried it or tried to buy it from there, but that's what I'm going to use. You can also make molding paste. I did do that one time and it doesn't come out bad, and you can use Mod Podge, talcum powder, and a little gesso. So it comes out pretty good. I've used stencils and things of that nature with it. But anyway, so earlier today I took some molding paste and I put my color on it, and hey Kelly, how are you? And I put it on the screen to create a background for it. So normally when you paint on the screen, you can see right through it. Now I want you to be able to see through it, but I don't want you to be able to see completely through it. And I noticed the couple times that I painted on screen, I have to go in many times in order to build up the coverage. And I thought I would try the molding paste just to see how that would work, because now I've got coverage and you can see through, but you can't see directly through it. And I'm going to try and paint right on top of that. So I found a picture. I'm going to start with a different one. This one I'm going to transition halfway through because the molding paste is really wet, and then you can't apply the other paint over it. So I had to let this one dry. So it's not completely dry, but it's dry to the touch. It's not completely cured, but it'll cure in about 24 hours. All right. So I'm going to flip it around my screen so that you can see what I'm doing. And I did not mix the paint yet, but I'm going to mix it now. And I'm going to put it on a palette. I'm going to take some molding paste out of the jar. And I'm going to have like a blue and a white background, or actually a blue and a light blue background. Maybe I'll mix a little white in there as well. I'm going in, I have a teal color, actually no, turquoise blue, and I have light blue color that I'm going to mix in to this molding paste. I'm going to hold it up. It's on a piece of glass. I'm going to take some of the, you don't actually have to use a whole lot of paint with the molding paste. Now, when you put it in the molding paste, it is going to look like it lightened up a bit, but it's going to dry the color of the paint. So I don't know if you can see that, if there's too much of a glare, but it did lighten up a little bit. But it's gonna it's gonna darken once it's dry. And then I'm gonna take just a little bit of that light blue and just kind of smear it in, because I'm gonna have like the smears. I'm probably gonna come into it now. I have it on an easel. I'm gonna see what happens. I actually, usually when I do this, I hold it. The last time with the other frame, I did hold it in my hand, but that's not gonna work if I'm trying to show everybody what I'm doing. So I did put it on this small easel. It's a little bit difficult to do it on the easel. And I'm trying to do it so everybody can see. I am going to have to take it off because I want to show you what I'm doing here. Hang on. It went on the easel, right? Waste not, want not. I'll pick that up. And I'm going to start to put it on there. And there's no, I'm just kind of haphazardly putting it on here. It's not, so it's going to create that texture. Now, I'm kind of pushing it into the mesh of the canvas, but you'll see what I'm going to do next. So I kind of take my palette knife and I lightly run it across the back. And what this is doing is it's pushing some of the paint back up. And you're going to probably do this multiple times. All right, now I got a bunch of that back on my palette. I'm going to put it back on. I'm going to smear what I got here again. Oh, thanks, Kelly. Hi, Betsy. How are you? Look, I got my canvas backwards. All right. Make sure that you got it the right way. Since I'm right in the beginning stages, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to flip it over because this is the unfinished part of the canvas. Oh, actually, no, I don't have it backwards. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. I'm a dunce. It's nervousness, right? So I'm just going to kind of get it in there. I'm going to come in with some white paint too. I'm going to come in now. I'm going to grab some lighter blue. I'm just going to mix that in. With my molding paste. I'm going to grab some lighter white in a minute. I just want to get most of my blue on there. Let me know if you have any questions. Oh, thanks, Betsy. Yo, Betsy, you got your earrings. How are they? Do you love them? I hope you do. I was looking at the painting, that actual painting the other day. I was looking at it. I'm using a glass palette. I'm not using a glass palette. It's a piece of glass that I turned into a palette. I'm just kind of going back and forth. I just want a little coverage on the screen before I actually paint what I want to paint on it. But like I said before, I do want it to still be a little see-through. So parts of it are still, you can still see through it. Excuse me. Let's see. Yeah, I gotta tell you, it is a little easier when you're holding it up rather than having it on the canvas. It's not ideal to do it that way, but I got to figure out, I got to come up with some genius way to figure out how I can put it somewhere, have it set up the screen so that it's not hitting the back of anything, and then I can get back there. And I'm going to go in with a smaller palette knife here. I think the one I'm using is a little too big. You want to keep a towel on hand, paper towel or baby wipes or something, so that you can wipe off the excess, because this stuff does dry pretty darn fast. I don't know what I did with my towel. I'm gonna have to get it because I want to get the molding paste off my palette knife, or else you're gonna have to sandblast it off if it dries on there. Oh, you do, Betsy? Oh, that makes me happy. You do? You want another pair? I'm making, I didn't post them yet. I'm making, so I have some canvas art that I didn't really, I'm just going to turn it so I can talk. I wasn't jiving. I wasn't feeling it. And I decided to cut them up, which is what I did with this. Cut them up and make earrings out of the canvas. And I did put them on wood. I thought about not putting them on wood, but and maybe putting them on leather, somehow putting them on leather. I got to get some leather to do that, or some of that vegan leather to do it with, so that I can, so that they'll be sturdy, you know. Let me here, hang on. I'm going to show you. I just did a pair before. I don't know if you, oh, look, I can't really tell which way I'm turning on the video. So that was from a piece of one of my canvas art that I did. And I just attached some. Hold on. And I'm sorry. Nabil? Noah's, can you call him? I think he's leaving work. Oh, he just called me. Okay. Sorry about that. I should have turned it on airplane mode. Here's another little pair that I did. The same piece of canvas. Anyway, I'm working on these. They're a little less labor intensive than the resin. So I should be these for a little less inexpensive. I mean, not that they're expensive and not, but I mean, the resin is so labor intensive when you're trying to do them. Oh goodness, it takes forever for me to get those done. But anyway, all right, here I am. I'm back to this now. I'm going in with some white. I'll mix it with my molding paste. Get a little blue in there too. A little bit. I don't want a whole lot. I want it to still be fairly. Okay, now I'm going to come up with this. So my reference picture kind of has a wood background. It's a flower. There's some tulips. in the background. That's what I'm gonna paint the tulips over this. What? And I'm just gonna get my excess paint and paste off the back. And if anybody was wondering about how to seal these things, you know, the spray, what did I use? I think I used like Rust-Oleum or some kind of clear coat spray. I had bought it for, I actually did an outdoor statue. And I said, well, you know what? I think I can use it on here. Because I was really kind of like, I was going to use regular varnish to seal it. All right. I'm just going to smooth this back out. I think I might use, I have this round palette knife. That probably will work pretty well with trying to smooth that out without pushing it too much into the screen. But you definitely want to smooth it out. You're going to have some little bumps, but then it also creates texture for you too. So, all right, let me wipe off my palette here, my palette knife. Oh, you don't think I charge enough? Thanks, Betsy. You know, the resin is so I'm telling you, it's really labor intensive. That's why I wish it takes so long to just make one pair. Especially like I'm trying to get the art and put it on the thing and I got to cut it out and I do everything by hand. I got no machine helping me. I know a lot of people have like those circuit machines that they use to cut out the leather and the canvas and all this other stuff, but I don't have that. So I do everything by hand. And I'm used to, I was an art student in high school. I took 4 years of commercial art. And we learned, it was old school. We did everything by hand, everything. We had computers, but we didn't, I don't think my teacher was, I was telling my son the other day, I was like, I don't think my teacher was well-versed enough in the computers when I went to high school that he could really like show us how to really use them. I'm just going to put some more, I want some more white on here. Meanwhile, here, let's see. All right. I think that's pretty good, right? Just for a little background. I might put a little brown. Actually, not brown. What's the color? Burnt sienna, if I have it. Oh, you know what? I don't know what I did with it. You know what I'm going to use? I'm going to use, not fire starter. I'm going to use that Summer Crush. If I can find it. There it is. Just a little bit, a touch. And I'm just going to take some of that molding paste and mix it in with the Summer Crush. I'm just going to get in here a little bit in some spots. I'll get it over here a little bit. Maybe pull it on down just to kind of give it a little bit more interest. Oops, sorry. scraped. I scraped. And like I said, I don't have a glass palette knife, a glass palette. I just have an old piece of glass. That was from a shelf. And we got rid of the shelf and I kept the glass. So I'm using that as my palette lately. Anyway. And it cleans up fairly easily. I took 4 years. Kelly, I took all 4 years was commercial art. Um, like I said, I don't think we were fully prepared. I mean, I thought I was gonna get out of high school and become an artist, and then I looked for a job. Of course, right? You out of high school, you're like, oh, I'm gonna be an artist, I'm gonna be a commercial artist, and then it didn't happen. And then I wanted to go to college, and then realized pretty quickly I couldn't afford to go, so I went to secretarial school, and that's how I ended up where I am now. And now I just want to be an artist and do this full time. I should have started many, many years ago, right? But you can't regret, right? Hi, Melanie. How are you? Hey, Kathleen. What's up? What's going on? I'm painting on a screen, and I'm using molding paste. All right. Hang on. I'm going to let this one dry for a minute. And look, I've got it all over the place, but that's all right. I'm going to wipe it off only because I don't want to get the blue on this one. You should see my big not my canvas, my big easel. It's covered in paint. Because I use water and I spray it all the time. I mean, it's a mess. It used to be wood. Look, wood color. Now it's like, I don't know, it's a million colors now. So, all right, I'm going to take some of this. It's like a hunter green color. Hang on. I don't know what color that is. Oh, sap green, it says. I don't know. The color, I didn't think sap was green, but whatever, right? I'm going to mix some of the molding paste with the sap green. I'm not going to mix too much because I want the paint to be a little thinner. So just going to, I'm going to hold it up, sorry. It's a little bit harder when it's already on the canvas. See, I've already put it on, but I can't figure out any other way to easily do this. It would be easier if the screen wasn't on the canvas, if I had it on some kind of other device. So I'm gonna use my brush, but right now I'm gonna use my palette knives. And I am looking at a reference photo so that I can kind of gauge what I'm doing here. Get the highlights in. Just something for ease of read. I usually will go off in my own direction. But just for the purposes of, sometimes I like to look and see how they shaded the flower. There's no shame, right, in checking out a photo just to make sure you're getting it the way you want it. All right, I'm sorry, I keep dropping. I'm gonna just pull. I'm gonna make a leaf over here. I'm still gonna work on this part with the wet molding paste. I'm not gonna let it dry because I want to get some other colors going in here, other shades of green. So I'm not gonna let it dry, because it won't, the paste won't be as workable if it's dry. Let me smush that out, make it look more like a leaf. Need like little mini sized palette knives so that you can get in there. All right. How was everybody's day today? I don't know about you or how it was over by where everybody is. I think Kathleen, you're in Virginia. I saw Kelly earlier doing her live with her t-shirts, and I think it looked pretty nice out over there. It looked equivalent to here. It was a beautiful day. It was a little chilly for my liking, but I'll take it because I'm so sick of the cold weather. I think I need some more green, some more sap. Actually, I'm probably not even going to put the molding paste on now. I'm just going to go straight in with the acrylic. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm telling you, the frame is getting in my way. I'm going to be a little molding paste, a little tiny bit, just to make it a little thicker. Because once it dries, it's going to have all this texture on it. And then it'll be really opaque. But you'll still, like I said, be able to see through a lot of parts of the screen. You know, if anybody has any questions, I keep forgetting, I keep kind of going down because I don't realize. I tried to set this camera up. I worked on it for 20 minutes trying to figure out what would be the best way to set the camera up. And in the end, I did not figure out a really good way. But I wanted you to be able to see it because every time I do a live, it seems like I have the camera facing me, but sometimes you can't see what I'm actually working on. So I want you guys to be able to see what I'm actually working on as I'm doing it. Just gonna go out there for a little bit. There, brought that out. I'm gonna come in with some lighter green. So I'm coming in with some light green paint. Right now I'm using Liquitex. I'm using the Liquitex Basic. Now I've kind of upgraded my paints, but I have a lot of this left over, so I want to use it up, especially before it goes bad, because this stuff does not last forever, but it does last a pretty long time. I think I'm going to use a brush. I think I want to use a brush. One second, let me grab one. Let me grab one that's not. Oh, here's this one too. Actually, I'm going to use this one. It's a little floppy, but I think for this it'll be fine. Painting with the brush is a little bit easier. I normally don't with the molding paste, but I mean, I'm not, it's just sort of like an, you know, more abstract tulips. This isn't, you know, true to life. I'm sorry, let me come closer. Let me put that down. Let me come in with some, let me see. I want to use, I just kind of want, I'm going to come in with white because I just want a little bit of a lighter green. And then I'm going to come in with a different shade of green. I don't know if you can see that. Kind of looks the same, right? Looks like the white didn't do anything. All right. Let me get that off my brush. I just have this old drop cloth here. I always keep it there. I wipe everything on it. I clean all my paint on it. I'm gonna, oh, okay, now I'm gonna use light olive green. And I'm not putting molding paste. Let's see. I'm gonna come in with it a little thick and just sort of highlight some spots here. All right. Whoops, I need more. A little bit more. Oh, that was too much, but sorry, I'll use it up. I hate wasting paint. Is it? Wasting paint. All right. It's gonna keep adding more and more layers as I go. This is pretty wet. I might have to I'm gonna go for the white again. And the white. I'm gonna mix a little bit of that olive green to the white. And hit a little bit of highlight. Just in a few spots. It's still kind of pretty wet. I'm going in pretty heavy with it. I need more white. Hang on. Come here. All right. It was beautiful. I know. It's oh, cold and snow. Betsy, where are you? Oh, Denver. You know, I got my uncle lives out in Denver. He was a few weeks ago, they got like 2 feet of snow. He's not in Denver per se, but he's like right around there somewhere. When I went to visit him, we flew into Denver. So, right? So it's got to be close by. Well, at that time, he lived in Parker, Colorado. when we went a few years ago. Now we live somewhere else. I can't remember the town. I have not been to the new house yet. They're empty nesters and their kids, you know, are in college. Well, actually, one of them is out of college. And one of them is in college still, so they were looking to downsize. All right. Okay. Now here we go with this. Yeah, I'm ready for summer too, Kathleen. Oh my goodness. So done with the weather. With the cold weather. All right. I got pink. And I'm going to start with the pink and then I'm going to put red in it because I'm going to have a couple different colors going here. So now I can paint a little bit like with the brush on here because now I've got a layer here on the screen. I'm going to try not to hit the green. It looks like a hot mess right now, but once you keep adding those layers in and keep manipulating and moving your brush in different directions. And then after that dries, I can go in over that a little bit. I'll continue probably to work on this even tomorrow. So now I'm mixing the pink. I had a magenta. This is just a medium magenta. I mixed some cadmium red into it to give it a little bit of a deeper pink. Give me this other palette knife. And then I'm actually liking how the palette knife is doing that. I don't know if you can see. But I said it's a little bit harder to manipulate the palette knife when it's on this frame. Another thing you could do when you're painting on the screen like this is you could paint your picture on there with the lighter colors of like you can use the DIY paint or you can use that works pretty well. Certain colors. There are certain colors that are just not gonna show up on the screen depending on what color screen you're using. Right now I'm using a black screen. So the lighter colors are going to show up a little better. But you could paint your little picture on there and then go in with the molding. I went right in with the molding paste, but you don't have to do that. You could kind of get your picture on there first and then start layering it up with the molding paste if you want to try it. I'm kind of liking how the molding paste is working on the screen. Oh, this is the first time that I'm doing it. I just thought about it today. I was like, what about we use molding paste? I bet you it would give the piece more coverage. I'm gonna go in with some white. I'm gonna mix it in with a little bit of the pinky red color, and I'm gonna get just some of the highlights of the tulips. The tulips that I have are kind of mixed. The picture I have is they're a little bit, they're mixed with pink and white. So there's white on the tips. Let's see. Let me get in there. If you get it, you know, you can always go back and add more paint, you know, if you don't like how it came out, or, you know, you want to, you can always wait and go back after it dries a little bit and go back in. But I'm not going for perfection with this. This is like a little abstract. Tulips. Oh, wait a minute. Your orange Frida in the corner is my favorite. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Kathleen. I'm running out of places to put the canvas art. I need people to purchase them so I can paint more. That's why I kind of started painting on smaller stuff, because I was like running out of room. I think if anybody sees that Frida, the bigger Frida, I think I'm gonna redo her. I'm gonna not her completely, but I think I'm gonna redo her face a little bit, and I want to work on that a little bit. I want to go a different direction. I like her, and I like the way she is, but I feel like I want to change her up. I'm just grabbing some of my other color of yellow paint. I'm going to mix in, and I got to find my Naples yellow. I got to find Naples yellow. I don't know what I did with it. I think it's over here somewhere. Let me go in with this paint, this yellow. I'll go in a little thick. It's definitely different than painting on canvas, painting on the screen. So it's quite different. I might pick up some of that red that's here and put it in there. Oh, it dried out too fast. Boy, some of the acrylic paints will dry as soon as you lay it down. You put it as soon as it comes out of the tube. Right, Kathleen paints with oils, which is cool. I'm not brave enough yet to do the oils. Do you like painting the screen? I mean, thanks, Kathleen, about the earring. Betsy, you like painting on the screen? I'm digging it. I am digging it. I'm just gonna hit the back here and pull that down. I want to get some of that red back in. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm sorry, I'm like maybe no one wants to look at the side of my face. I need that Naples yellow. Hold on, I think it's right here. I saw it earlier. If I don't find it, oh, here it is. Great. And the cadmium yellow. Found both of them. I hung up I'm going to use the cadmium yellow first. I hung up all of my paints on the wall. so that they're easy to find. And you think I put them back on the wall once I'm done? No. You think I would do that, right? I spent so much time figuring out how to hang them all up. I got one of those shop boards and I said, oh, this is going to be great. I'm not going to lose any of my paint. I just spent the hour, almost the entire hour before I started the live looking for my glasses. And I laid them down, had them, but I put them on and I laid them down and I put them. I ended up finding them in the laundry room. I must have been folding laundry. And all right, I'm gonna go in with the Naples yellow. I'm just gonna kind of, I don't know which I like better, the palette knife or the brush. I don't want to think too much about, the placement of the paint. I just want to get it on there. Get the colors mingled in there. See what happens. All right. Yeah. All right. It's not looking too shabby, right? It's not too bad. There's even a little bit of and I think I'm gonna wait. There's a little bit of yellow in my reference picture. There's a little bit of yellow in here, but I think this is too wet. And there's a little bit of yellow at the base of the flower. There's more white in the base of the flower. But I can go in there after this dries. It'll be easier to work around and get in there. Because right now, with it being too wet, you kind of have to step back and walk away from it for a second. So let me see. This blue, I don't know. No, I think it's still too wet. I was hoping that it would dry more while I painted on this one, but it's not. It's still a little too wet to do anything else on that. This is still wet, but I think I can go in with some other colors. I'm going to go in with some white at the bottom. Again, more white with my green. Just give it a little bit. Yeah, this is dried somewhat. So now I'm not smearing the whole thing. Some of it is dry, not all of it. But I can kind of go in there with this. Yeah. So my reference picture is just a bunch of tulips laying on a table. It's not in a vase or anything. My other reference picture has a vase. I don't know if I can show it to you. Oh, what do I do with it? I don't know if you can see it. Probably you can. But yeah, I can't. It looks small to me, but it's a like a pitcher and it has a bunch of tulips in it. So I'm thinking with that, I'm probably not going to use too much molding paste to begin with. I'm gonna kind of get the flowers and the leaves in there. I'll get the leaves in there, and then I'll go in and I'll put the flowers because I have a pretty heavy base on here. So when this dries, I'll just use regular paint, and I'll go in with my leaves, and then I'll go in, let that dry, and then go in with some tulips and start going in. So I'm probably not going to use too much molding paste on this one, but I don't think I'm going to get to it tonight. Only because it's not dry yet. Or else I would have. It's not for lack of me not finishing. Like Kathleen knows I'm always last to finish. When I was painting with Karen, she would finish everything in the hour and I would never finish it. I'd have to post a picture after. Have you ever tried the wet palette to keep your paints wet? I can't remember if we seen you use one. You can totally do it with oil. With the oil, I do have a wet palette, and I do like the wet palette. I actually like to get a bigger one because the one I bought a Masterson's and it's a little too small for my liking. I feel like I need it. It was not even. It wasn't like real expensive, but it wasn't that cheap either. So when I bought it, I actually thought it was bigger, and it ended up it was maybe like an 8 by 10, not even. And it's too small. So I got to invest in a different one. Hello, Elisa. Hello, it's Delisa. Hi, Delisa. How are you? How you doing? Thanks, Kathleen. You should paint a Frida in oil. Oh, you know what? I think that if I attempt the oils, she's gonna be my first subject for sure. If as everybody can say, is like if anybody's looked at my art on Instagram, I have a lot of Frida. I've done a lot of Frida. I've done small Fridas and big Fridas, and I did Frida on vinyl, and I've done Frida all over the place. And I was like, is anybody getting sick of me doing Frida? I don't know. I'm like obsessed with her image. Uh, and she's also inspiring person. And if no one knows about Frida Kahlo, there's many books about her, which I've read, and there's also a movie that was done a few years back with Selma Hayek played her, and she just had this tragic life. Poor thing. But yeah, so it's pretty interesting. And I think her image is more iconic than her actual work. Like I feel like her image is more famous than her actual work. Although her work is very famous. Her art is famous, but her image is very famous and very iconic. Oh, don't use the oil on the wet palette. Okay. I didn't mean that you should use oils on the wet palette. I think it sounded that way, and I meant you can totally try oils and be said. Oh no, I got you, Kathleen. I understood what you meant. I always tell people too, like when they I'm one of those people that rewrites their text and punctuates and everything, right? And if I make a mistake, sometimes I do the auto. I talk into it, and it'll write down what you want to say, and then you hit send, and then it says something stupid. And I always Karen will type. I'm texting Karen, and she'll say, "No, I understood what you meant. I understand text. It's like another language." Uh, but I knew what you meant, Kathleen. That was my point. I did understand what you meant. I'm just going to go in here and give it just a little bit of. Little little bit of more interest. Partly because I have all this olive colored paint that I squeezed out of the tube. And I want to use it up. And I'll probably go back in over it with some darker green and just to give it some more definition and some interest. Go back there. Just know there's like at the base of, hang on, at the base, oh, that's white. I don't want to do that. At the base of the yellow, I'm sorry, of the red tulip, there is some yellow, which I'm just gonna go in with some of the olive, and I'll go back later with the actual yellow. Yeah, but it's pretty wet now. I think this is as far as I can go with this right now. I gotta let it all dry. But anyway, so I'm at almost an hour. Love Frida. Yes, the story is so good. One bus ride, so I know, isn't it? Oh, did you just watch it? Isn't it terrible? What happened to her? It's not. I don't even know how she survived that, to be honest. But I also don't know how she survived her marriage. But she did. She was strong lady. Very, very interesting woman too. But anyway, so I definitely, I'm right at an hour. Anybody have any questions about what I did or any of the products that I used? I mean, I don't claim to know everything, but if I can help anybody, or if you have any questions, just let me know. I actually have questions for Kathleen. Maybe Kathleen needs to do a Q&A one night. But all right. I'm at just about an hour. So thanks for hanging out with me while I painted on the screen. Once I'm done with it, I'll post a picture of it. But it's a cute little abstract tulips, right? Not bad. Not bad for my first try with the molding paste on here. I'm thinking, because I'm telling you, when you paint on, it's really, you can't see through it as much. Like I have that other one. I did one, probably Kathleen remembers. You remember the one I had, the old frame, the Romanian frame? It was an old vintage frame. Anyway, I painted a girl. I think it was a Frida-esque sort of person. And I used the Posca pens for almost the entire picture. And I used light colors, so when you look at it, you can see her. But if I hold it up in front of me, you could see my face right through it. If it's got to be up against a wall or something. Here's another. I did one. Oh, I'll show you really quickly. I did this one with Posca pens too, and it also is on a frame, an old vintage frame. So it's a Buddha. I don't know if you can see it, only because I think you can kind of see it. I'm trying to see if I could put it up against something so that you can see it better. But if you see, you can see me right through it. Is that better? No, I don't think that is better. Hold on. I don't think this is better either. Yeah, it's better. But you can see the image. And I did that completely with Posca pen. So there's no acrylic paint on here at all. I keep tilting it. It's the camera, the way I think it's supposed to go. But you can see right through it. Thank you, Kathleen. I'm curious what you... I'm curious what you will top coat it with. I'm going to put, so the other ones I did, I sprayed with clear coat. It's just easier with the screen because trying to paint varnish over this, or like using Big Top or any kind of varnish out of a bottle, it's going to get like, it's just, it was hard with something like this, especially where it's completely see-through. I use the spray, and the spray worked really, really nice with this. And I think I'm going to just continue on the screens. I'm going to use the spray. I think it just, it offers a hard shell protection. I mean, it's, you got to use it outside. You got, like today I sprayed a whole bunch of projects all at once. I went out there and I just sprayed. It was a nice day and it wasn't that windy, and I got them all done in like, 10 minutes. And that's really it. This one I did not spray, but I'm going to. I didn't want to, I'm going to have to tape this off because I don't want to spray the frame. I only want to spray the image on here. So I'm going to have to tape it off before I spray it. But other than that, but yeah, just like a Rust-Oleum. I used Rust-Oleum. I bought the Rust-Oleum clear coat for the garden statue that I painted, and it looks pretty good, and I think it's going to hold up outside. It's already been rained on a few times, and I'm hoping, and I never take those things in. I always just, some of them I do. That's not true. I said I don't take my garden statues in. I do. I do take them and put them away. But that one in particular, I left outside for about 3 years. And it was composite. And I think I bought it at Christmas tree shop. And it just started to break down. So I brought it inside. I put a primer on it, like an outside paint primer. I put that on. I put DIY paint over it. I did what I wanted it to do. I did my art on it, and then I actually wanted to mute the color, so I put dark and decrepit over, watered down dark and decrepit over it, kind of muted the color down that I got it to where I wanted it to be, and then I sprayed the whole thing with Rust-Oleum. Took it outside, sprayed him down. I gave him 2 coats. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that he's gonna be around for a few years, and probably this winter I will, when the winter comes around again, I will bring him inside. I'll just store him away instead of leaving him outside. But okay, so spray, yeah, like a poly spray. I don't have it here. I think I left it in the other room. I just, yeah, just a clear coat of something that you can get at like Home Depot or Tractor Supply, or or Lowe's or wherever. All right. Thanks, girls, for joining me tonight. Thanks, everybody who came in. Betsy, Kathleen, Elisa, Kelly was here a little while ago, Melanie. And I'll be back next Tuesday because I think I'm going to do this as my regular night now. Okay? All right. Take care, everybody. Good night. Bye.